I see it like this. How many of us invest? We all invest, right? Okay, do you know more about the who operates the company than you do the board? Do you really know who the board is? I know I do a precursory who's on the board itself. I want to know who's on that board. But I really want to know who's actually running it, because that is the strength of the company, who actually runs the company. I would like to actually go in there, find the person that we find who is going to run the school system with their vision. The worst thing I can think of during the superintendent search is that we're going to try to find somebody we're going to decide what the vision is, and then we're going to find somebody that we're going to try to mold into that vision. So in my case, I think that the school board ought to back off trying to run the school system on a day-to-day basis and actually find somebody that will run the school system. And our job is just to go in, and if we have concerns from our constituents, then we take care of those, that we address them through that person, and that if we have, we give out awards, and we greenlight a lot of the broad strokes, that kind of thing. Because that's really what a board is. All of us have been on boards. We understand what that is about.
And so your vision,
is the
first. I understand that the superintendent, not the board, would set the vision.
Absolutely.
And so then you'll be doing a superintendent search, should you come.
Absolutely. I think that's another thing they should do, is they should actually wait until the new board gets on board, because that vision is part of the new, because has the old board really done what the people have been happy with? Because we have to actually ask the citizens, are they happy with the current board? And I think from what we've seen with the uproar and the outroar that we've heard from the people, they're really not happy with what's been going on in Charlotte.
So if you could have anybody in the country, who or what kind of person would you pick and why?
I would pick more of an innovator, somebody that would come in, and instead of us going out beating the bushes for someone, I don't like this whole idea of, we have a job. Right now we have the most plum position. I just find it amazing. We actually have a job right now that is a plum position. That anybody in the world, I know when I used to look for jobs, I used to look for something that presented me a challenge. I wanted to wake up in the morning, I didn't want to go to work, I wanted to go out for a challenge. And that's why when I hired people, I wanted them to come to me and say, you have a challenge that I want to actually go for. So I'm not waking up going to a job, I'm going out looking for a challenge every morning so that I have a purpose getting up. I'm looking for somebody that comes to us and says, I've analyzed your school system, and this is what I think that you need to do. This is what I think you could actually do in the school system to make it. This is a procedure I think you could do in your school system. Instead of us going out beating the bushes, please take us, please here. We need help. We've been doing this and that. However, I have to ask this. Has our school system, has our board, current board, has it made such a bad reputation for our system itself in the entire country? Has it made such a bad reputation for itself? And I have to ask this, that no one of any consequence wants to come to our system. That's the concern I have. So I'm looking for somebody that wants to come to our system, that says, I have the ability, I have the talent, I want to come in and I want to bring in what I think that your school system needs. I'm looking for that kind of person. I don't want to inflict what we think our monster is on them. I want them to come in and tell us, I think this is the plan I have for your system.
So essentially you're saying for a superintendent, you want someone who comes to us and says, hey, I'm ready. But you feel like in order for someone to do that, we need to be, that the board plays a part in that attraction.
We have to be open.
So talk to me about what you feel like the present board has done, or what the new board needs to do to be attractive to that type of person.
We have to be open.
Just come and offer themselves to us.
Innovative ideas. We have to actually be open to more of these. Like if it's a hybrid of charter schools, if it's a hybrid of charter schools, if it's a hybrid of more KIPP, if it's a hybrid of more Teaching for America, whatever that person comes in, they actually have to come in with having done quite a bit of homework. And typically somebody that's as well talented, I have actually hired lots of people that have come in that they might not have had the position before, and that's the problem we have. We've always done this. We've always said, let's steal talent, let's steal talent, let's steal talent, let's steal talent. And the problem with stealing talent is that's great, but you know something? You can actually find people that are very talented out there that all they've been doing is they have been doing nothing but funneling their talent into that talent that you're trying to steal. And quite often, if you look just below that talent, that's where the real talent lies.
And would you expect to have someone with an education background or not?
Hybrid, if nothing else.
Explain that.
A hybrid. It's not necessarily that, but if they are, I've actually seen more people that have, gone to school, and they've gone back to school, and they've actually gone back to school. Have you ever met those kind of people before? I find those people more challenging in a day-to-day activity, because you know something, they're the kind of people, I call them the adapters. Have you ever met those kind of people?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
An adapter, all right? Meaning people that, for instance, like me, for instance, I was in commercial lending back in the 70s, all right? I went to school, I did everything right. This was what was told to me. It was that you went into commercial lending. I'm a Charlotte native, all right? Went and I did the banking, the commercial lending, the whole 9 yards. Very successful. Then banking started dying in Charlotte. And I started looking around going, all my friends seem to be, you know, losing their positions here. And I started saying, you know something, I'm not being adaptive, so I need to start doing that, adaptive. And I guarantee everybody on this, and I try to get all the kids that I do mentoring to, I get them all, and the first thing I do is I go bomb, and it's called Who Moved My Cheese? And everyone should get that book and give it to their children. And you should show them, and that's called adaptive reasoning. And the adaptive reasoning that I had was, what I did was, I went out and I started a company, and it was a logistics company. And at that time, companies and banks at that time needed to actually move things that were going into large companies and companies. They needed to take equipment and actually have it moved. I was in commercial lending. I was Mr. Suit, three-piece suit, you know, standing there, you know, oh, how dare we. I started moving equipment around, storing it for them. They didn't have that at that time. Now it's a common practice in the business to do that. I adapted. Then I went into computers because I saw that that was actually adaptive, and I went back to school for that. And I did quite well on that. I retired 10 years ago and sold that to my company because I adapted into that. And my employees, I always make sure that my people grow. And that's what I want these kids to do, adapt.